There you see it, everybody. If you aren't familiar to it by now, you can tell. Popularity 46 to 54, wins 49 to 51, Team Cali 340, Team Marie 360. Oi YouTubers, it is I3 Hellgear, and this is a little something I like to call After the Splatfest. Now that I've shown you and read off to you the results to the final Splatfest, I'm going to get back to what I'm going to say. So, here's the thing. I'm part of a lot of gaming communities. Splatoon gaming is one of them. And what I want to do in this little piece is talk about all the wonderful things that are going to take place after this final Splatfest. You know, many gamers in the Splatoon gaming world, whether it be Miiverse and other gaming communities, not just mine, but others around the world, you know, they have a lot of questions. And I want to take this opportunity to speak with you about this very same thing, these issues and whatnot. So, do me a couple of favors. First and foremost, if you enjoy this video, any of the opinions or views that I might have, let me know in the comments section below. Tell me which of my views you agree with, which you disagree with, and any views of your own that you might like to add in regards to what I'm about to say. Also, I'd appreciate the good raised thumb letting me know that you like this video. Third, share this video to your friends, your family, your other communities on social media, whatever they may be. Let them see it. I would like to hear their pieces on this and everything else. So, I'm just going to get right to swatting the flies on the wall. First question that comes to mind with players now that this final Splatfest has finished is Splatoon still worth playing? Now, that answer depends on 1, your level, and 2, your rank. And I'll get to the rank part momentarily, but let's talk about the level. It's not common knowledge that after you reach level 20, there are specific pieces of gear that you can obtain as you level up. I would throw the spoiler alert, but like I said, this is common knowledge. It's also mentioned on Inkipedia, which is the Splatoon wiki. I will link to the Splatoon wiki in the description below. So, to those of you who haven't reached this level yet and you're wondering if it's worth playing, keep on playing, because you get gear at levels 25, 30, 35, 45, and 50, and you get a new weapon at level 40. Now, personally, if there's one reason to actually keep playing, it's to level up all of your gear. As you can see, I still have a good assortment of question marks on my kicks here. And that's going to be the next fly on the wall, but one at a time with my electric fly swatter. You know, you want to level up, you want to get all the gear. You may not want to get all the weapons. I personally don't want to get all the weapons. You know, there are some that I like and some that I do not like. That's my reasoning for it. Your reasoning for not getting all the weapons is your own. You're welcome to it. One of the other things that I would like to say is not everything is force-slotted. But again, that will come next. So, as far as level is concerned, I know a lot of Squid kids out there who are level 50. And some of them have already reached their S rank or S plus rank respectively. So even if you have reached level 50, it's still good enough to get your S ranks. Because remember, folks, once you hit S rank, your private battles won't make you lose points. Just, you know, regular online battles, not, you know, the private ones or the squad battles and stuff like that. And some people, they only want to reach the S rank, some want to reach S plus. Now, to the squids that are level 50 and S plus 99, and I know a good 45 to 50 squids that are, they felt that there's nothing really left for them to play. There's nothing to it. They have all the gear, all their gear is slotted out, and they've decided to go to Overwatch. That's right, Overwatch, of all things. So, I'm going to try not to bust Nintendo's helmets too much when I do this. That's not the point. I'm just stating the obvious and giving my views on the matter. You know, this is why I say there should be a prestige system, and if not a prestige system, give us a few more levels, because there are three things that I personally would like to see grabbed. You know, the Octo Charger replica, the Octo Roller replica, and DJ Octavio's crown. You know, that's another good 15 levels you can give to players to tie them over. The next question, coming from the fly on the wall, is of course the gear. Now, a lot of people in the Miiverse community who are players of Splatoon, they just started playing Splatoon, and their very first Splatfest was Early Bird versus Night Owl. And if you're one of those, I apologize on knowing that your second Splatfest, which you probably had fun with the first one, but your second one was the final Splatfest. So you have a lot of gear that doesn't have 4 slots or has question mark slots. And how are they going to get the extra slots for the gear? And this is something Nintendo should really think about doing. You know, I personally have always had this belief since I've started playing Splatoon, was the whole deal with your Super Sea Snails is that every piece of gear, whether it's headgear, foot gear, clothing gear, should have 4 slots on them. Every piece of gear, regardless if it's 3-star gear, 2-star gear, 1-star gear, should all have 4 slots on them. And with a lot of the new players who started with the previous Splatfest, or the unlucky few who started with this final one, they're going to have a lot of gear that isn't fully slotted. And one thing that should be addressed by Nintendo is figuring out how to increase these slots. Because personally, these cream shoes right here, these high tops, it's 1-star gear. I don't have enough Super Sea Snails to give all of my stuff the 4-star gear, and I would like to. So hopefully you guys work on that. The next question in the room, which of course is another fly on the wall that I'm going to swat, is what do you do when you have everything? You know, you've completed your level 50, you've gotten your S maxed out rank, you know. What is there left to do? You know, what keeps me playing Splatoon and keeps me from not switching over to Overwatch? You know, when Nintendo announced the final Splatfest, they said even though Splatfest will no longer be held anymore, the good times are still going to roll in Inkopolis. Well, those good times are the question that matter. Is there going to be extra stuff coming out? Will there be more content? Are there going to be new ways of getting more gear and whatnot? I would like to see these answers personally. I'd like to see an alternative way to gain Super Sea Snails since Splatfests are gone. And I'm going to talk about that one right now. It's not really a fly on the wall, but it is an elephant in the room. Sunday afternoon, when I found out about the results, a lot of people in my lobby, in the plaza, have had interesting art that's been rest in peace Splatfest, RIP Splatfest, RIP Splatoon, the game is over. And this is a very, very bad issue that Nintendo needs to address quickly. You know, even though this was the final Splatfest, everybody's starting to feel, 1, the game is dead, 2, it's not worth playing anymore, and 3, I'm maxed out. The only reason why I really played this is for Splatfests. I'm done. So that's going to be something that needs to be addressed. And I say this not only as someone who puts themselves in the human resource department of Splatoon as a squid researcher, but also as one, a consumer who has bought this game and enjoyed this game, and two, as a player of this game who still has to get up in the levels and grab all the gear and whatnot. You know, the game shouldn't be dead, and the sooner this is rectified by Nintendo, the better off players will be, especially the new players who've just recently gotten hip to this game. The next question, which is another fly on the wall getting ready to be smacked by my bug zapper, is what do you do when you have all the stuff from the amiibos? Now, the Callie and Marie Splatoon amiibos apparently have just songs on them. And I'm thinking to myself, because I don't have them yet, is that it? It's just pop one on, register it under my name, and hear songs that were on the concerts. I mean, there's no weapon involved, there's no outfit replicas, you know, there's no weaponry. I mean, is it really worth spending the $24 for these two amiibos that come in a set? Or individually, if they're sold in your neck of the woods that way? You know, are they just, you know, doorknobs, dust magnets? What is it? Now, I mentioned this next fly on the wall in my thoughts about the final Splatfest. Yeah, I'll link to that in the description below as well. But how do you soften the blow of this being the final Splatfest? Is this your way of saying, well, we're doing this as the final Splatfest because the second Splatoon game is coming out? A lot of people in the community have been like, well, it's over for now until the second Splatoon. So, if there is a second Splatoon on the way for the Nintendo X, which will probably be for the Nintendo X, you know, that would be great. It would soften the blow of this being the final Splatoon. But, as Nintendo has perfectly stated, the NX has a spring 2017 drop along with Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and that's 3 seasons away. And a lot can happen between transition time in 9 months. 10 months maybe. But in any case, what is going to happen in the second Splatoon game? Are we going to be able to import the data from this Splatoon over to the next one? Will there be other stuff that our amiibos can do? You know, these are a lot of interesting questions I would like asked. Now, I have the original 3 Splatoon amiibos, not the repaints, but the original colored ones, and I'm thinking, well, all I have to do is get the last arcade game, but that's it. And then, of course, the Squid Sisters, who do nothing but sing. You know, am I still going to be able to use these amiibos for the next game? And if so, how? You know, are there going to be any more interactions with the Splatoon amiibos for other games, like Mario Kart 8, for example? You know, there have already been Splatoon challenges in Super Mario Maker to get the Squid Sisters, and the Inkling amiibos work for that game as well. But Splatoon-wise, you know, you have to think, is it really going to be going downhill? Which brings up the final question, and the final fly on the wall that hits the bug zapper. Say I have finished everything in the Splatoon amiibos. Say I have all the gear 4 slotted. Say I reach level 50. Reach S plus 99, and I have pretty much nothing to do. You know, what now? When I get there, I will let you know. I'm not there yet, so I really can't say. You know, I would like to say, but unfortunately I cannot. But for the time being, you know, the good times are going to roll, as they say. I'd like to see some rolling come next month, because, you know, Splatfest, this was a once a month, sometimes twice a month deal. You know, I'll leave a comment below on which of the teams of Splatfest that I was on, between playing on my nephew Catbug32's Wii U and mine, which was during Snowman vs. Sandcastle when I first got it on the unboxing vlog. You know, I'm still bummed out about this being the final Splatfest. You know, I figured this was just a joke, and then they were serious about it, and it's like, well, damn. I still have a lot of gear to level up, so I still have some more playing to do. But that's just me. You know, there are people who've been playing it since May of last year, and all their gear is slotted out, and they really don't want to re-roll everything when it comes to their snails. And this is another segment of the final fly on the wall, is if you have all of your slots filled out and you have extra sea snails to burn, what are you going to do with them? You know, the main point of giving the sea snails to Spike was A, increase the slots, and B, re-roll slots to stuff that you don't like. And I know a lot of people play that whole role of RNG when it comes to, you know, the stuff on, you know, the abilities on their gear. But if you have the abilities that you want on all of your gear, you have a surplus of Super Sea Snails. And this is probably why Nintendo decided to make this past weekend Splatfest the final one. They figure, well, a lot of our game players since the very beginning have all their gear slotted out. You know, it's all 4 slotted. They have a bunch of Super Sea Snails. They're not going to re-roll anymore. You know, Spike's going to go hungry because we know he eats those things, the contents of the Super Sea Snails. You know, that's normal. Urchins prey off of sea snails in the wild. You know. Now, in my opinion, and I've stated this before, which is one of the reasons why I'm also bummed out about this being the last Splatfest, is the players did not get to keep their Splatfest tee. You know, when I mentioned this in the final, my thoughts on the final Splatfest, one of the things was, since this Callie and Marie one was the final Splatfest, it would be nice to have the actual Splatfest tee in game. Unfortunately, that prayer was only halfway answered. And I say halfway answered because Dot 1, it's not in my inventory. But Dot 2, Nintendo of America's Twitter actually gave out a contest where you can win an actual Callie Marie Splatfest tee. So in a sense, my prayer was half heard. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say on the matter. I still have things to do as far as clothing is concerned. Look at all these question marks. Look at all this. All these blank slots that I have to decide what I'm going to do with my sea snails that I have a short supply of. You know, hopefully Spike will let us pay for extra slots on our gear with money, since if we run out of sea snails to re-roll or add slots, that he'll just boom, let us re-roll again. But hopefully the extra money can add slots too. At least that's what I would do if I was in the HR standpoint. But anyway, that being said, I'll be waiting to hear your comments on this matter, and I will see you guys around. Raise your thumbs if you enjoyed this one. Even take the time out to share this one. But now I take my goose from the oven because I'm done. See you on the turf, everybody.